the drummer that is not letting me hear the response. Good morning, church. Oh, okay. The energy is there. How are we doing today? Can you look at your neighbor, just pick one neighbor and welcome them to church? Now, I want to see a very big smile on your face while you're welcoming them. I want you to give them a very generous compliment this morning. How are they looking? What are they wearing? Yeah, that's good exercise. All right, thank you so much. So how are we doing today? How was your week? Was it good? Did you have a good week? Did you have a productive week? Okay, so service has started. I hope you guys know that service has started. Service has started, and we are starting on a quite interesting note this morning. So you know that for us at the tribe, February is always a especially beautiful season of love. Who is excited? Okay, and then you know that at the tribe, we don't like to do things typically the way they always happen, right? And you know that when it's February, it's always season of love, right? And spotlight is always on people in relationship, people that are married, etc., etc. But today, I come bearing good news. I hope you're excited. I want to see some excitement. Because I have good news. You have to believe me that it is good news. So today for us at the tribe, we are putting the spotlight on singles. Captain is so excited. Yeah, so we are putting the spotlight on singles. And this morning we're starting service and the relationship series with a conversation with the singles. So we want to see and hear about love from their perspective. Are we excited? Are you ready? All right, so I'll need you, because I'm about to be calling my panelists to join me here, but you have to show them that you are happy to see them here, and you're happy to hear from them. And by the way, these guys are super intelligent people. So I'm going to start with Minister Emmanuel Ayeni. Please, I want you to celebrate them for me as they come up on stage. Can you join me to welcome up on stage Minister Olajumoke? Yes, thank you so much. I love the energy. And lastly, thank you. I want you to join me to welcome Minister Thank God. All right, thank you so much, guys. I really love the energy. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, we are about to get started, and I promise you guys it's going to be worth your time. So I want to, this is the point where you bring out your notepad or your journal and your pen, because these guys are prepared for you. Can you see their faces? Like, they are not exactly smiling because they've been waiting for so long. All right, so without further ado, let us get started. Good morning, my beautiful and handsome-looking panelists. Thank you so much for choosing to do this with me. I'm happy to have you in the studio. Okay, so I have a couple of questions for you. And so the first question I have, it says, okay, so before we even get started, what we're going to be talking about is what must I do before I do? Yeah, no, you see what I did there? Okay, so that's what the conversation is about. So this is specific to singles. You're about to be in a relationship, or you're in a relationship, you're about to be married. What are the things that you actually need to do, right? So the first question says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you think you are to say I do? I think I would like to... I don't understand. You guys, what's going on? You want to hear me? Okay, let's start with Minister Thank God. You guys, please. Okay. 1 to 10 is the scale. Please, let's have you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Even Adam was not ready. So I would say, there's a way I'm looking at the question. Is the perspective. Is the perspective. So I would say 7, but it can never go past 7. It is a state. There would always be that element of, yeah, I can be more ready. There are more things to maybe learn. There are more things to maybe understand. That's why I said I don't think I can ever go past that 7. But that 3 is room for improvement. Always, that is going to be constant. And no matter how short it is, I don't say how long it's going to be before I get married. It's always going to be that state of it's just a constant state of. So I'll just say 7. Yeah.
Okay, so he said on a scale of 1 to 10, he is on a 7, and he's leaving that 3 to be humble. You know, there are things to learn, you understand? So, yeah, thank you very much. Minister Jumoke, let's have you. You guys.
I don't think I can possibly put a number to it, actually. Yes, for very obvious reasons. I'm supposed to have like a specific number.
Yeah, I would expect that actually.
But I still don't think I'm going to put a number to it, because I think, like you said, there's always going to be room for extra growth, actually. And I don't know if anybody has seen, I don't know if it's a picture or a video where a person said that you think that you are the kindest person until you are in a relationship, and it begins to show all of your... You actually figure out that you're not as kind as you used to be. So I think that what I'm trying to say is that the perspective is from how there will always be room for improvement.
Yeah.
And I also think that that's why there's actually counseling, because it shows you how prepared you ought to be. And at the same time, I don't think you will ever really be fully prepared.
Yeah.
Because counseling is going to give you tips on how you are supposed to manage situations when you get married.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the perspective I'm coming from. So there'll always be room for improvement. While you are single, you have to work on yourself to be the kind of person that you would be with. While you are in a relationship, you realize that there are more things to work on.
Yeah.
While you are in counseling, you realize that there are more things to work on, and there'll be more things that you have to work on while you're in marriage.
Yeah.
So that's the perspective.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Can you give her a round of applause? So she said something that, so it's almost like they're in stages. When you're single, you feel like, oh, I have it covered. When you're in a relationship, there is a whole new level. And then when you're now married, it is something else entirely. So you just have to always leave room for improvement. Okay, so let's have Minister Emmanuel.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I feel like they said what I wanted to say. Exactly. But, so I'll be very honest, right? There are days where I think I'm at a 7 or an 8, even 9. You just want to marry, right? And this is because I've been privileged to be around married couples, Christian couples, right? And I've learned a lot. I've seen insights.
Wow.
Read books, watched some videos.
Wow.
But on some days, it's a very low 2.5, right? Because then you see some things and you're like, if I was the one, you understand, right? So, you don't understand. But so some days it's a 2 to 4, right? Because you suddenly realize that you've come a long way, you've learned so much. But because you've learned so much, you now have the privilege to see that there's so much more to learn.
Yeah.
Right? And that is something that I find very weird. Because I'm supposed to learn and get to 10 and then start. Right? So, but what I'll say is I think I'm ready enough to say it because it's something I've prayed. Because it's something I have prayed about for a while. So I'm trusting God, because if I want to wait till it's 10, all of us will wait together. Right? So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So I actually don't think that if you're seated here and you feel like you want to get to a 10 before you feel like you're ready for I do, you will not get there, and you will just frustrate yourself and your partner, right? So I think you just have to get that conviction that is strong enough to carry you and your fears to the next level that you need to get to, right? So let us move to the next question. My next question says, what will you consider the top 3 important things that must be settled before getting into forever with someone? I like the way you guys are responding to these questions. Okay, let me start with, let's have you, Minister Emmanuel, so we go that way.
Okay, so for me, I think the first one would be core values, right? I want to build a home. So I need the foundational things to align, right? How we're going to raise our family, because I'm not just thinking of me. I'm thinking of you, I'm thinking of the future kids, the decisions we'll make, right? So if our core values don't align, especially spiritually, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be somehow, right? Number two, I would say their mindset about conflict resolution, right? So I want to know when you are angry, what am I to
Hope
expect?
you don't break chairs or break tables.
If you are falling under the anointing, it's about J94. So, right? So I want to know, are you going to ghost me for 2 weeks and just come back and say I love you and we'll just move on? Or if I apologize, when I apologize, are you going to listen? If you apologize, are we going to sit down and say, okay, I understand you? Or are you just going to wait and arrange a PDF? When you are done, you just put the slide. Right? On February 2, 90-something.
Why does it have to be PDF?
So PDF is better. Word is different. Right? So I need to know if, even when you are angry, you will not try to sabotage me and I will not try to sabotage you, right?
Absolutely.
Because from what I've seen, starting from my parents' marriages, they can be angry and then next thing they're in the kitchen, they are discussing, right? So these are things I'm very particular about. And then the last one, which I think is extremely important to me personally, is friendship. I am not running a military regime, right? I'm trying to build a home and I need to be able to connect with the person I will spend the rest of my life with.
Absolutely.
Right? I do not want to have to worry about, are you insecure? Am I insecure? Can I share my goals with you? What I plan to do with you? You know, these are basic things. I need to be able to play with you. I don't want a house where it's just yes and amen and, you know, right? I need it to be yes, amen, but honey, you said, right? Because I've seen that with friendship, you can grow to the best version of yourself in a home. And I do not want to be a punishment to somebody, and I don't want somebody to punish me for marrying them. So I need us to see beyond wedding. It's marriage. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are not carried away. I hope you are actually taking notes because these are very, very important values that he's sharing with us. Thank you very much for sharing that expressly. Minister Jumoke, let's have you.
Okay, again, I don't think I have 3 things to mention, but one thing that stands out for me is, I think Pastor has actually also mentioned it before, you don't have to be a millionaire, you don't have to own all the cars and the house, but are you someone who is able to create value? Is there something that your hands find doing? Yes, I think it also correlates with the first question about how you can't wait till you are 18, because I assume one of the reasons why you want to wait till you are 18 is maybe because you think you don't have the money enough, you don't have the car, and all of those things. So I think that's one thing to consider before, like on both ends actually, not just the guy, because you know I feel like men have had it enough. Like you have to earn a particular amount, 6 figures, all of those things. But are you a person of value? And I think also to an extent, if you understand yourself to a point, like you know yourself, have you been able to self-introspect to the extent, and you can say that you know yourself, like Mr. Emmanuel said, friendship, sharing goals, and the likes. Yeah, I feel like those things ought to be, because those are the kind of values that you would obviously see in someone else, and you'll be able to say that, oh yes, I can work with you and we can work together. So I think.
Wow, thank you so much. Sorry, before I move to Minister Thengo, there was something you just mentioned about knowing yourself. Could you please just elaborate very quickly on that part?
Like I said, self-introspection, and I'm also going to refer to what Mr. Emmanuel said. How do you resolve conflicts? I think they say something about the avoidance and the other part. So I feel like it's actually very crucial. Yeah, so how do you resolve conflict? How are you like? What is your personality like? Those kind of things. It should, yeah.
Yeah, so I needed to spot on that because, you know, it's seeming like is always about the other person, but now you see that there is also the perspective of you. Who are you? Do you even know who you are? Do you know your purpose? Do you know what God has called you for? Can you even describe yourself. And one of the things that I've come to learn about relationship with another person is, I don't know is not an answer. You have to know, you have to understand. Even if it takes time for you, you need to understand and be able to articulate yourself and how you process things, right? So it is absolutely important. So thank you very much, Minister Jumoke. So yeah, let's have you, Minister. Thank God. Yeah, not very well.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
You actually said what I wanted to say now.
Whoa.
I'll just maybe actually a little bit further, or push it a little bit further. For me, one of the key things, or one of the most important things to, before I get into the next phase with somebody, is for me, myself, and then for the person to also have a sense of identity. Because if you don't know who you are and where you're headed, then I don't see the point for the coming together. So you should know where you're going to. I should know where I'm going to. So when we come together, we know where we are going to. So, so that sense of identity, then, but it bears purpose. It gives, that's the purpose that we are now pursuing. That's, okay, this is the reason why I'm here, and this is what I'm pursuing. So if one of the first things I check for is, do you have a sense of identity? Do you have a sense of purpose? Do you know what you're doing? And do you have something you're pursuing and that is pursuing you, the way they say it? So you should have that. That's primary one. And then secondarily for me, I think you should just be I don't know the best word to use, but you should just be a good person. How do you treat people? How do you relate with people? How do you relate with common people everywhere? How do you relate with your gatesman? How do you relate with people upward, downward, and horizontally? How you just treat, you should just be a good person. There are some people that, they are not bad people, but they are not so good, per se. It's a work in progress. You get what I mean? So just be a kind person. Just be somebody that when we are not in good terms, in that sense, you can still do good things to me because you're naturally a good person. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
We are not friends right now, but your good art will still make you do some things.
Yeah.
And I think that good art sometimes can help us carry or go over some particular kinds of challenges.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
just be a good person at your core.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I would summarize that by saying that love is what you do regardless of how you feel. So we're going to move to the last question, and I would like you to just attempt this very quickly in possibly less than a minute so that we can go to what is next for today. And has it been worth your time so far, guys? Okay, thank you very much. So the last question says, what will you consider deal breakers in a prospective partner? Minister Jumoke, let's have it.
I think it's when the person is not teachable. Yeah,
Wow.
I think that you have to be teachable. The man is always supposed to be the head of the house, supposed to like make the decisions and all of that. But I feel like they also have to be the person that understand that they won't always be right, and they can also listen to their partner and take advice from them. And then when they do something wrong, there isn't I'm the man, you cannot tell me what to do, that kind of thing. And I think that being teachable actually just shows how sincere someone is. Like, it shows your state of heart.
Yes.
And I think that there's just something beautiful about your ability to agree that you were wrong, and then you're also eager to learn how to do it right. So, yeah.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you very much. Minister, thank God. Let's have you.
Okay, I was hoping I would come last. So I think that for me, it's, of course, being teachable and also being sincere. So one thing I learned, I think, last year a lot was one thing that really helps generally as a person for myself is being sincere. When I'm sincere with myself, I think that it goes a long way in things. So if I begin to notice if I begin to see traits of insincerity, and insincerity can manifest itself in different ways and it can come up in different ways. So just being sincere on the good side, being sincere, and on the other flip side, insincerity, inconsistent. You just see insincerity and it's a deal breaker for me. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Thank you for sharing that very sincerely. Okay, Minister Emmanuel, I hope you weren't hoping to come last. I'm sorry.
It's too late, but So I just have one basically that covers a lot, and that is lack of accountability. Right. So I would define it this way: accountability is commitment to a common goal. In this case, our professed love for each other. Right. So and then if you're accountable, you become responsible, and responsibility is about playing a part because we're a team, right?
Wow, yeah.
And I'm very worried about the mindset you have when you're playing this part. Are you coming with a 50-50 mindset, or you're coming with a 100-100 mindset, right? Not just for me, for you, but again, for our kids, right? Because you have to think about it in the long run. And I'm talking 100 in sincerity, right? Like you mentioned, integrity, solidarity, family welfare. Or are you just doing, let me see where it goes, right? And now I'm saying all this assuming that this person is a Christian. If the person is not a Christian, then my number one deal breaker would be a Christian, or you're not a Christian.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, thank you very much.
I was going to say, what are you doing there? Well, yes, thank you so much. Can you do that better? Because we have come to the end of this session. So as our panelists go back to their seats, can you celebrate them and the wisdom of God on their lives?